Let's dive into a dish that feels like pure comfort on a plate: meatloaf. Before we get into its history and a surprising connection to Elvis Presley, let's start with what you'll need to make this hearty classic. For a traditional meatloaf, you'll want ground beef, or a mix of beef and pork for extra flavor, breadcrumbs, which help bind everything together, eggs, also for binding, milk, to keep the texture moist and soft, onion and garlic, finely chopped, Worcestershire sauce for that savory depth, ketchup, mustard, or sometimes barbecue sauce, depending on your taste, salt, pepper, and maybe a pinch of paprika. And finally, a glaze for the top, usually ketchup, mixed with a little brown sugar or mustard, creating that shiny, flavorful finish. Now, let's get cooking. Start by preheating your oven to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. In a large bowl, combine your ground meat, breadcrumbs, eggs, and milk. Mix them gently. Too much mixing can make the loaf tough. Add in your onion, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, and spices. Once everything is combined, shape the mixture into a loaf on a baking dish or in a loaf pan. Smooth the top, and then brush on your glaze. Into the oven it goes for about an hour, until it's fully cooked and the glaze is caramelized on top. When it's done, let it rest for a few minutes before slicing. Meatloaf pairs beautifully with mashed potatoes, green beans, or even a simple salad. It's hearty, cozy, and guaranteed to remind you of home. Now, let's step back in time. Meatloaf has roots going back centuries in Europe. Dishes similar to meatloaf appeared in Germany as early as the 5th century, and variations of mixing ground meat with bread and spices could be found across many countries. But in the United States, meatloaf became especially popular during the Great Depression of the 1930 seconds. Families needed meals that were filling, affordable, and used simple pantry ingredients. Mixing ground meat with breadcrumbs or oats stretched the food further, feeding large families with just a little meat. As time went on, meatloaf became a staple of American comfort food, served at family dinners, diners, and even on holiday tables. It symbolized warmth, thrift, and a kind of nostalgic connection to simpler times. And here's a fun fact. Meatloaf was one of Elvis Presley's favorite meals. According to his former cook, Elvis loved home style, comforting Southern food, and meatloaf was right up there with fried chicken and mashed potatoes. In fact, it's said that Elvis enjoyed it so much, his mother Gladys used to prepare it often for him at home. There's even a famous recipe called Elvis Presley's Meatloaf, which includes crushed crackers instead of breadcrumbs and a generous layer of tomato sauce on top. It wasn't fancy, it was simple, hearty, and exactly the kind of dish the king of rock and roll would ask for after a long day of performing. So next time you make meatloaf, you can smile knowing that you're eating the same dish that kept Elvis fueled and comforted. Meatloaf is more than just a meal. It's a symbol of comfort, tradition, and family. Whether you're making it the classic way or adding your own twist, it's one of those timeless dishes that brings people together. You know, the beauty of meatloaf is how endlessly versatile it is. Every family seems to have their own special twist. Some people add cheese right in the middle, so you get that melty surprise when you slice it open. Others mix in vegetables like grated carrots, celery, or mushrooms, making it even more hearty and flavorful. And then there are those who swap out the classic ketchup glaze for something bolder like barbecue sauce, spicy chili paste, or even a tangy mustard glaze. It's also a dish that's perfect for leftovers. Cold slices of meatloaf make incredible sandwiches the next day. Just tuck a slice between two pieces of bread with some mayo, maybe a little lettuce, and you've got yourself another comforting meal. At the end of the day, meatloaf isn't about being fancy. It's about being reliable. It's about filling your kitchen with that irresistible smell, gathering around the table and sharing something that feels warm and familiar. And maybe, just maybe, when you're digging into a slice, you'll think of Elvis Presley enjoying the very same comfort food, proving that sometimes the simplest dishes are the ones that truly stand the test of time.